All right. So once you kind of get stuff down with drop shipping, especially on marketplace, but really with any of the marketplaces specifically, like obviously the Facebook marketplace, I mean, but like same thing with Mercari or Poshmark or really any of them. One of the things people always, start to realize is it really depends on the products, right? The quality of products and then what you're listing, right? And so then it really becomes about, the product research and figuring out what listings have a higher likelihood to sell so that you're listing things that obviously are in demand and not wasting your time or wasting your, whoever you hire's time to, list a bunch of things that really you're never going to have a high likelihood of selling and just kind of waste your time, right? So, one of the best ways, and there are many ways to do product research, there are many ways to kind of vet, high quality products that have a higher likelihood of selling. I've already covered, I honestly don't even know, like a bunch of strategies, and I will continue to add more as I, find different things that work well for me and, want to share them with you, right? But one of the easiest ways to do it is to go to eBay. Now, one of the benefits of a site like eBay is they have all the data there for you to sort through, literally with your own eyes, right? And so you don't really need, there's no like back end stuff. Obviously you can use like software like Zeek Analytics, which saves you a lot of time, and I've already shown you how to do that. But one of the benefits of like using a site like eBay is like you can literally see the past sold and completed listings, right? So there's two main ways to use eBay to do product research: to find past sold listings, because obviously those listings are in demand. Those listings have a high likelihood of selling because clearly there are customers buying those listings and those products, because you can literally see it in the eBay data, right? There's a lot of talking, Brian. What do I actually mean, right? Here's two easy ways that you can do it. So let's open up another tab really fast and I'll show you the two ways. First and foremost is if you watch like videos, for example, of somebody that's like covering like a hot new product to sell, maybe that's Halloween decorations, right? Because a perfect example of this, as you can see, I've literally typed it in here, is one of the benefits of that is like you can it's right by Halloween, right? So I'm typing in Halloween decorations because that's what I want to list. So then we're going to type in Halloween directions into the eBay search bar, and it's going to feed you out a lot of the Halloween decorations. The issue with going down with all these is like you're not sure if there's a quantity of them, right? Meaning that there's multiples, so you can reorder. You're also not sure if it has free shipping on every single one of these. You're also not sure if it's sold already on one of these. You're also not sure where it's shipping from on one of these. And so if you're going to type something into the search bar right here, you want to go down and you want to slowly kind of check things off on the side, right? So you want to, let's go down slowly. Let's find the little check marks. So with condition, you can drop ship new things, although if you're doing it all in sequence, or you can drop ship used things, excuse me. But if you're doing it all in sequence, you want them either all to be used that time or all to be new, so you don't have to constantly check, because that's going to slow you down, right? So I would say click all used or click all new, and then list a bunch of used things in a row or list a bunch of new things in a row, so you know that everything that you're listing there is obviously new. Now, one of the things with used is like you're not going to have a high quantity on a listing. If this, for example, was used, chances are it's only one used item and people are reselling used things, right? Whereas if you have new, chances are, you can find listings a lot more frequently that have multiples, so you can reorder if you get multiple sales, right? Which is what you're after as a drop shipper. So we're going to click new here. Again, you can drop ship used things. Now that new's selected, we want to come down a little bit more, and we want to look for item location US only, okay? The reason I'm going to click US only is because I'm drop shipping within the US, and if you don't click that, then often you'll be going down, and every so often you'll see listings from China or listings from other, other countries, obviously outside the US. And if I'm drop shipping in the US, as you probably are as well, then the likelihood that you're going to be able to get that product and get the tracking number to your customer fast enough, and so that you can get paid, it just adds headaches into the mix. So you want to drop ship within the US with US suppliers, right? It's just easier that way. It's a no-brainer. I often always do free shipping as well. That way I know that every listing that I'm going to click on has free shipping, okay? And then we have new selected. We have all listings. We have US only with the item location. We have free shipping. And then you can also go sold items as well, sold and completed items, so that in the past these items have sold. Now, you'll notice that with some of these, these might not necessarily, if you do that, you might have items that have already sold and aren't currently in stock. So another easy way is if you just don't do sold or completed, you can try both of these by checking everything and then sold and completed and going down that way. But what I like to do is leave them undone, because then you can kind of see like, okay, there's this one sold 41 and this one sold 149, and it still shows you the ones that have sold and how many, right? So now you can kind of go down, like this right here is sponsored and it hasn't sold anything because you don't see any like X sold, right? Like this says 105 plus sold. This hasn't sold anything. This hasn't sold anything. Well, this is a Halloween decoration, right? We know that it's new because we put that in the parameters. We know that it's within the US because we put that in the parameters. We know that it has free shipping because we put that into the parameters. And it fits all that criteria, and it sold 105 of this listing already. So clearly it's in demand, right? It doesn't necessarily guarantee you that it's going to sell on wherever you're listing it, whether that's Poshmark, Mercari, or obviously Facebook Marketplace or Facebook Shop. But what it does do is it gives you a higher likelihood, because it's basically telling you this is an in-demand product. It's a Halloween decoration. And so if you list this, there's a high likelihood that it will potentially sell, right? Not a guarantee, but a high likelihood. And then obviously if you list a bunch of items like this using these parameters as we go down, a lot of those are going to have a higher likelihood to sell, rather than if you just listed random Halloween decorations that you found on the website, right? And so this kind of gives you a higher likelihood to spend your time listing products that have a high likelihood to sell. So we pulled that one open, and I'm just going to go down the list and open up in new tabs a bunch of ones that kind of look like that have plus, X sold, right? This one's the last one, so I'm not going to actually pull that one up because there's only one left. But if it didn't say last one, I would, because it says 45 sales. This one has 149 sales. This one's the last one, so I'm not going to do that. 250 sold, we'll open that one. 141 sold, we'll open that one. Last one, 323 sold, almost gone for 40 sold, so we'll check what that one is. And then I would literally just go down and select like 10 to 50 of these and start listing them, right? So now let's vet them a little bit more. So this is new, and this is a bunch of different variations, so I'm going to stay away from this listing. On eBay, I like to stay away from variations. Same thing with this one. So what you could do is you can make it the biggest one, and then always, because literally then if they order any of these, it's going to cover your costs. But again, I'm going to stay away from variations. This one's perfect example, right? It's new, it has multiple quantity there, and obviously it's within the US with free shipping. So this is a perfect thing that you can go ahead, copy to Facebook and list. You could also obviously copy it to Mercari, copy it to Poshmark, and then, do it that way, right? So this is a perfect example of a good listing. And now we know that there's a high likelihood that this is going to sell because one has sold in the last hour. We know that 149 of them have sold, and this is a great drop shipping listing that most people aren't necessarily going to go ahead and find because they're not necessarily doing it this way, right? And so same thing with this one. Like this one has multiple quantity. It's new. You can get a discount for buying multiples if one of your buyers buys multiples. It's within the US and it's free standard shipping, right? And then you would just literally go through, here's another one, same example, right? And you would start listing and kind of doing it with it like I just showed you, and find, good high quality listings that have sold on eBay doing, within those parameters like I showed you, right? And that's a great way to kind of do it when you're typing things into the search bar. Now, another thing, let's drag this second one over here. Another thing that you can do that's really, really easy is, even if you don't have an idea to type into the search bar, you can just go down and shop by category. And so one of the benefits of eBay is it literally tells you all the top listings in those categories that have sold, and you can go down that way, right? So for example, let's go to home improvement to give you an example, right? We're going to home improvement, and then you just want to go deep into like the subcategories, right? So we can go home improvement power tools. And then once it starts popping, okay, there we go. So it started popping all the power tools up. If it didn't pop any of like the listings up right here, like all of these, then we would just go one deeper into the subcategory until it popped us a bunch of listings out. And you can do this because there's so many categories on eBay and so many subcategories and so many products that have sold within those categories. And eBay gives you all the data that the likelihood that you list something similar that I'm going to list, or that some other student's going to list, is very, very slim. And this is a great way to find obscure listings that not a lot of people are selling, but have a proof and history of selling, right? So this is sponsored, but it's literally telling us it's sold for over 440,000. So I'm going to open that one up. That's perfect. This one sold 1,700,000. That's not a number. Over 1,700, obviously. And same thing, you would just go down anything that has a history of selling really, really well. You would open all these up. move down the list, and then slowly vet them and then list them, right? So this has multiple quantity, but it's limited quantity available. With these, because we weren't able, when you're actually going through the category, to select the parameters on the side like I showed you before, you do need to make sure that they are all similar, right? So this is new. That's great. It does have multiple quantity. It is within the US, and it does have free shipping. So that's great. And you don't have to go after those parameters, but like, if you don't, then obviously if you're batch doing it, it's going to slow you down because you're going to have to make sure every single time, right? This one right here, limited quantity. Again, did I just check this one? I did. More than 10 available, within the US, free standard shipping. This one is not a listing that you can list because unless you do it manually, for whatever reason, ZDrop doesn't integrate with these listings that are like sideways, but it does when they look like this, as you can see here. So I just skip those listings on eBay. Again, that's a similar one right there. And again, that's a similar one, right? So just to show you that there's like plenty of these, because I think I went down, let's just open a bunch more and I'll show you an example really, really fast. So let's open all these. And we just open a bunch more and we'll stop there. So here we are. This one, where did we end up? We ended up on that one. That one's not, we can't list that one because it's sideways. That one's sideways. That one is not sideways, but this is a perfect one, right? Like new, more than 10 available, free shipping within the US. This one's sideways, new, 10 available within the US, free standard shipping, right? And I just found, like 4 great products that I can list super, super quickly that have a high likelihood of selling because a lot of people are paying attention to them. eBay is literally telling us there's a major demand for this, and then you can mark it up and then drop ship it to your customers on any platform, right? So those are 2 really great ways to use eBay to find great dropshipping listings. Like I showed you, when you search like a topic or a type of product into the search bar, you can set the parameters like I showed you. Or you can literally just go down the categories, go into a subcategory, maybe even one subcategory deeper if you want to go even deeper, and then just go down the list and only list things with the history of selling, and you'll find great products like that.